Shiva and take his blessings. So we will begin by offering some prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Lalitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So see that. We will do a couple of minutes offering of prayers before we start about Lord Shiva. Brahma bole chaturmukhe Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Brahma bole chaturmukhe Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Brahma bole chaturmukhe Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Lord Shiva ki jai. Okay, so it's a very, very very special, auspicious moments to remember Lord Shiva. And Shiva Tattva is something not very easy to understand. There are certain tattvas of philosophies which are very complex to understand for a conditioned soul. Because we are in this material world conditioned by the three modes, Sattva Gun, Rajogun and Tamoguna, and especially in Kali Yuga, being very much affected by the mode of Rajoguna, passion, and Tamoguna, ignorance, how can we understand the very high philosophies which are described in the scriptures? It is only possible by the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the mercy of pure devotees that we can actually understand and appreciate the facts given in the scripture. So keeping that in mind, we cannot always think that I can understand everything which is given in the scriptures. So that is why scriptures cannot be approached by a challenging mood, or scriptures cannot be approached by thinking that by my own endeavor, by reading this book or just by reading particular verses, that I will kind of understand everything. We should not depend on our own intelligence, limited intelligence, but rather we should approach with a mood of submissiveness and humility, and with the dependence on the Lord, that the Lord shower his mercy so we can understand him. So only when we approach in that mood that the truths will be revealed. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to understand. And Shiva Tattva is one of the very complex philosophies or tattvas, because there are many different understanding. If you see scriptures also, different people understand it in different way. And there are, we see 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, Itihasas, so many things are given. And these are given for people of different modes also. Even if we take the 18 Puranas, the Puranas are also catering to the 3 different modes of people. So certain Puranas aim to satisfy the people who are mode of goodness, and some for the mode of passion, and some for the mode of ignorance. And we may wonder why it is like that. Why can't they speak something which is common, and why there are so many differences and contradictions? It is not contradiction actually, because as we know, in the condition, I mean, the material world, different kinds of people with the different modes are there. And of course, in the same day, in the same personality, we have, overlapping of modes. Sometimes we are in the mode of goodness, sattva gun. Sometimes we are in the mode of rajogun. Sometimes in the mode of, tamoguna. So even within ourselves, the different gunas, takes sometimes precedence. And but the character of a person is determined by what mode he's, most of the time he is situated. If someone is all the time in the mode of darkness, and that person, of course, even though he may have a little sattva gun, little rajogun, but he is considered as a person in the mode of tamoguna. So the scriptures, why the contradiction looks like it, apparent contradiction, is because the scriptures are giving some things which are for people in the mode of ignorance also, because you can't speak high philosophy for a person who is in the mode of darkness. So they can follow something small and little digestible, and then slowly they can raise themselves to the next mode, higher mode, rajoguna, and then they can gradually, elevate themselves to the mode of sattva guna, and then to the mode of pure goodness. So if, for example, a small child, we don't go and give a child big plate of food. We give them, maybe is a little, for the capacity. Maybe a very small child, they may take, very, very small quantity of food. And when they grow up, and then the quantity increases. Similarly, because otherwise a child, it will become indigestion. Similarly, the person in the different modes cannot digest if we give a very, very high philosophy in the very moment itself. So that's why the scriptures give all different kinds of things. And sometimes it may look apparent contradictions, but actually when we understand it in the right perspective and from a bona fide, acharya sampradaya, then we will be able to see that actually there is, everything is given in a very proper perspective, and there is actually no contradiction. The apparent contradictions are also, for a purpose. And the truth is only one. The absolute truth is only one, and all the scriptures and all the the supplementary scriptures are also kind of giving the same truth. So I'm just telling you all this because the tattva, Shiva tattva, as per the scriptures, it is mentioned that it is very difficult to understand. And sometimes, we see that in the common scenario also, people fight in the name of some people, in the name of, there is always this contradiction happens between the Shaivites and Vaishnavites. And, they say that, Lord Shiva is the supreme, and one say that there is no supreme. We might have heard all these different arguments, but that is not the point to be taken here. We are trying to see this tattva from the eyes of scriptures, and especially from of all the Puranas. It is mentioned that the topmost Purana, or the Amala Purana, is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we see the scriptural references from there. and also from the other scriptures. So we should not take it in argumentative sense. Rather, we see from a scriptural point of view, keeping all our other kind of ideas and conceptions. So in an open mind, we like to enter into the subject. And of course, it is a very broad who can describe the glories of Lord Shiva, a very great personality, whose heart is full of compassion and love for all the living entities. Who can describe his glories? Certainly not possible. But we are making an attempt to glorify him on this very auspicious day, so that we can purify ourselves, and we can also seek his blessings, so that our heart can be can awaken our dormant love for the Supreme Lord, and we can all become pure devotees, serving the Lord in that spirit of pure devotion. So only with that mood we are approaching this thing, because as we know, in general sense, there are a lot of differences. So let's get into this beautiful pastimes, and so many things we can learn from this pastimes. We have only selected a few and we will try to understand from those pastimes. So the very word Lord Shiva, the very word Shiva means auspicious, full of auspiciousness. Just the name itself is auspicious. What to speak about his form, his qualities, his pastimes, his personality, his devotion. It's beyond our imagination. And Srimad Bhagavatam mentions Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Of all the Vaishnavas, the topmost is Lord Shiva. And he's a master of Durga Devi, or in other terms, Parvati, Mother Parvati. So he's a master, the husband of Mother Parvati. And he's one of the 12 Mahajanas. Mahajana means a great personality. And the scripture says that there are 12 personalities who are considered as the topmost. And Lord Shiva is one among the top Mahajans, whose footsteps one should aspire to follow. And it is mentioned, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Kumara Kapilo Manu, Prahalada Janaka Bhishma, Balir Vayyasakim Vayam. So there are 12 personalities we will later see. So Shambhu or Lord Shiva has got so many different names, and one of those celebrated names is Shambhu. So he is one of the 12 Mahajanas, and he is actually, so Mahajana means a great personality who by his own actions teach the common people how to lead a life. So Lord Shiva, by his own examples and pastimes, actually gives us a lot of life lessons that how we should conduct ourselves. So that is why he is considered as one of the great masters. And he is in charge for the destruction of the material world. That's why you say that at the time of Pralaya, the annihilation, Lord Shiva does a Tandava Nartana, the great dance of Pralaya. And then he is in charge for the destruction. And because, annihilation is a part of creation. There is creation means there is annihilation, there is destruction. So Lord Shiva is in charge of destruction. Just like Lord Brahmaji is in charge for creation. And also he oversees a mode of ignorance within material creation. Because of his compassionate, extremely compassionate nature, Lord Shiva oversees a mode of goodness is overseen by Vishnu, and mode of Rajoguna is overseen by Brahmaji, and mode of ignorance is overseen. Not that he is we should not mistake, he is in ignorance. He oversees the people who are, that means he is very compassionate. That's why the ghosts, goblins, you see they are all his associates, the Bhutaganas are the associates of Lord Shiva. Why? Because he's extremely compassionate, so that even the most fallen people, he gives his mercy. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, many names of Lord Shiva are there. One of the names of Lord Shiva is Sada Shiva. So there is Shiva in different planets and universes, and then we see here the Sada Shiva of Lord Shiva this particular Shiva is in Goloka Vrindavana, in the spiritual world. The Shiva in the spiritual world is called as Sadashiva, and there is other names for Shiva in the material Bhuloka. So Krishna Loka, the Goloka, he's named as Lord Sadashiva. And Krishna has got his plenary expansions, a quadruple expansion. He expands as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from Sankarshana comes the Sadashiva. So that's why, this Sadashiva, he resides eternally in Goloka. So let's see what Srimad Bhagavatam says about Sadashiva. Yes, Prabhu. So Lord Shiva knows that Sankarshana is the original cause of his own existence, and thus he always sits in trance, meditating upon Lord Sankarshana. So this Sankarshana is in Goloka Vrindavana. It is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 17th chapter, 16th verse. It is mentioned that Lord Shiva is always, you can see in the hand of Lord Shiva, there is a Rudraksha, and Rudraksha Mala, and he will be in a meditating pose, holding the Mala. So whom he is meditating upon. So it is mentioned in the scriptures that Lord Shiva always meditates on the beautiful form of Lord Sankarshana, and he recites the name of Lord Rama. Yes. Sadashiva's abode is called Sadashiva Loka, and it is situated above the material universe, slightly below Goloka. It is eternal, spiritual, inexhaustible, full of eternal happiness, and devoid of any disease. So this is a Sadashiva Loka, which is quite closer to Goloka, which is the topmost. Goloka is the topmost planet, and quite close to that is Lord Sadashiva's abode, where it is Lord Shiva as Sadashiva is eternally residing there. Srila Sanatana Goswami in this Brihad Bhagavatam-rita 1296, he mentions that the abode of Shiva lies outside the material universe and all its 7 coverings. Actually, this is a very beautiful picture where it is talking about how in the universe, the different planets, where we say the different hellish planets and the different heavenly planets. So, and then the middle is the Earth planet. So you have the lower planets. The middle planet is the Earth, the Bhuloka. So then Bhuvarloka and Swargaloka. So, so the lower planets, the upper planets, and the middle planet Bhuvaloka, and above the higher planets, heavenly planets, we have different planets also. The planet of Lord Shiva is there, and then the Goloka Vrindavan is there. So the different planets are mentioned. Here in this picture, maybe we need one session to go through all the different planets. So we are not going in detail here. But just want to know, so Lord Shiva's planet is above all the material coverings, above the 7 coverings, and above the material universe, outside of the material universe. And Srila Prabhupada, in the Vayu Purana, there is a description of Sadashiva in one of the Vaikuntha planets. That Sadashiva is a direct expansion of Lord Krishna's form for pastimes. It is said that Lord Shambhu, Shiva, is an expansion from the Sadashiva in the Vaikuntha planets. So as we said that there are many names of Shiva also. So Shambhu is actually an expansion from Sadashiva. So the original Shiva is in Goloka Vrindavan, and he has a separate abode called Sadashiva Loka. And from that Sadashiva comes many Shivas. And one of the expansion of that Shiva is called the Shambhu. And this is mentioned in Vayu Purana. Okay, Bhuloka, how the Lord Shiva appears. I mean, it's a very beautiful story also, that as we all know, Brahmaji was given in charge of creation, right? So Brahma is meditating for a very, very long years, how to create, and later, he is praying to the Supreme Lord, and then the Lord gives him the knowledge, and then from that, Brahmaji is, starting the creation. Then later, Brahma wants to create many Prajapatis, that means progenitors, who in turn will create more creation, further creation. So Brahmaji creates this beautiful 4 Kumaras from his mind, the Manasa Putras of Lord Brahma, the 4 Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. We can see here in the picture. They look very like a small children. Why? Because these 4 children of Brahmaji, they pray to Brahmaji that we do not want to grow old. Because when we grow old, then automatically, lust develops, and all this different material contamination comes. So they pray to Lord Brahmaji, their father, that we do not want to create. Actually, they were created for the purpose of creating further population. But they pray to Lord Brahma that we are not interested in this material creation. We like to be like this. And we want to completely dedicate and surrender our life, in achieving self-realization. So we do not want to, entangle ourselves, in getting into this, creation. So Brahmaji became so upset because the purpose is lost. So when he got angry, when Lord Brahma got very upset and, seeing, hearing the words of his 4 Kumaras, and from Lord Brahma's, the eyebrows, the from the middle portion of Brahma's, this thing came Lord Shiva. And from Lord Shiva came further 11 Rudras, and who actually taken up this service of creation, further creation. So the secondary creation. So, and also Lord Shiva, so the further creation, that's why he is called as a male creative principle in the world. Actually, we may wonder, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Bija Pradapita, I am the seed-giving father. But Krishna directly do not involve in creation, maintenance, or annihilation. So through his energies, Krishna does everything. So how Krishna does these 3 things, maintenance, creation, and annihilation, he does through Brahmaji, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. So creation is done by Brahmaji, maintenance by Lord Vishnu, and destruction by Lord Shiva. But also from Mahavishnu, we see that, he glances. Generally, when the Lord glances, he glances. We have read in the scriptures also, he glances over the material nature, and then the creation happens. Then we may wonder how Mahavishnu glances the material nature, because material nature is Shakti. She is Durga. But Mahavishnu's consort is Lakshmi Devi. And Durga or Parvati is consort of Lord Shiva. So how is it possible that Mahavishnu glancing over material nature? It doesn't logically, sounds correct. So that is the reason Mahavishnu, he through Lord Shiva, glances over the material nature. So that is the reason Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati are called as a spiritual, father and mother for the material universe, and because Mahavishnu does through Lord Shiva the creation, the further creation. So that is the reason, they are considered as the father and mother, Shakti, Shiva and Shakti. And as for Lord Shiva, then he glances over Mother Nature, that is Durga Devi, and the creation. He impregnates Mother Nature, and the further creation happens. So that is the reason Lord Shiva is called as a male creative principle in the world, injecting the souls into the womb of material nature, which is Shakti. Sounds complex, but when we go and read Srimad Bhagavatam, we will be able to understand much better. Just giving a little hint about this about this creative principle. Okay, so let's see some of the pastimes of Lord Shiva. Very, very beautiful pastimes. And so this is a pastime, a very beautiful pastime which happened in Gokula. So when Krishna appeared in Mathura, the prison house of Kamsa, and then later when from Mathura he was taken to Gokula. So when he was taken to Gokula, as we know that everyone was attracted by the beautiful form of Lord Krishna, baby Krishna. And Mother Yashoda, in a parental mood, is very lovingly taking care of Lord Krishna. And all the inhabitants of Vrindavan was so enamored by the beauty of Krishna, and they were always, and Krishna was displaying so many wonderful pastimes. So once Lord Shiva desired to see the baby form of Krishna. So he told Mother Parvati that, I am going to Gokula and want to see, little Krishna. So Parvati said, I will also accompany. Then Lord Shiva said, no, I like to go alone. You be there. But I will bring back something for you. And then Mother Parvati asks, for butter, to bring back from Gokula. So then Lord Shiva agrees and then he goes. So Lord Shiva, initially he thinks that if I go in this form, because, as Lord Shiva, he has got matted hair. We can see in the picture, he has got snakes, covering his neck, and he wears a tiger skin and the scorpion belt he wears. So if anyone sees immediately like that, may get scared. So Lord Shiva thinks that maybe I should, disguise myself like a Brahmana, and then I should go to Gokula. And he thinks himself, and then he goes. And then as soon as he touches the land of Raja, and immediately Lord Shiva thinks that no, 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 I cannot disguise myself like that. And Lord Krishna knows who is coming inside. Why should I disguise myself? I should go in my actual form. So when we approach the Lord, Lord Shiva is also there teaching us here. When we approach the Lord, we don't go with any other mood. We don't disguise ourselves. Sometimes, in the material world, we outside present ourselves differently, and inside we are different. But Lord Shiva is teaching us that there is nothing called disguising ourselves. We should be as we are. There is nothing, no hypocrisy and duplicity. We should be straightforward, and that is what Lord Shiva here is teaching us. And then he goes with the same form, and he goes and knocks Mother Yashoda's door. Mother Yashoda was inside. She could hear that someone has come, and then she's answering the door by, from inside. He's telling that who is knocking the door. Yes, I will come soon, and and give you alms. And then Lord Shiva is telling, I am not come to ask for any alms or any gifts. I want to see the baby Krishna. Mother Yashoda comes out, and when she sees the form of Lord Shiva, but because she was overwhelmed with the love of an ecstasy of Lord Krishna, she didn't immediately recognize that Lord Shiva has come. And then she tells to Lord Shiva that, you ask me anything else. You want food? I can see that you are hungry. I can give you food. I can give you water. I can give you everything, but not my baby. Then Lord Shiva says, my wife's name is Annapurna. Annapurani. Mother Parvati is Annapurani. So she is Annapurani. So I don't need any food. I just came to take darshan of your child. But Mother Yashoda was frightened to see, then she says that, I can see your farm with the snakes and, the scorpions and tiger skin. My baby will get frightened. So I will not bring my baby to you. Then Lord Shiva is requesting, if you are not bringing your baby, I will sit down here only. How many years it takes, I don't mind. I will sit here and I only see your baby and then we'll go. Mother Yashoda says, you sit down, my dear Baba, I don't care, but I will not come and give my baby. So, a very transcendental conflict is happening between, Lord Shiva and Mother Yashoda out of love for Krishna. And baby Krishna could see, inside Krishna could see that this is a sweet exchange happening between Mother Yashoda and Lord Shiva. And he is also smiling. And then at one point, Mother Yashoda was very firm. You please get up and go. My child will get very upset and I will not bring my baby, Lord Shiva leaves the place and he was so dissatisfied and very morose, and Lord Shiva leaves, Mother Yashoda's house. And then what happened? Krishna could understand that is very dear Lord Shiva is so upset. So he wanted him to come back. So what he did? all the gopis. And then immediately one Saki comes, Lalita Saki comes, and then she says that, looks like, someone is dissatisfied. Mother Yashoda, is there any sadhus came to your home and you dissatisfied them? And I think that is the reason Krishna is crying. And then Mother Yashoda is thinking, whom did I, kind of displeased? Then she could remember, oh yeah, one sadhu came with matted locks and snakes, and then I told him that I cannot show my baby. Oh, see, that is the reason. So you have to go and bring that sadhu back. So then all the gopis and everyone going, and then they are bringing back Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva, Mother Yashoda gives the baby Krishna, you can see in the picture, she is giving baby Krishna to Lord Shiva. And as soon as Lord Shiva receives baby Krishna, Krishna stops crying. And then Lord Shiva becomes very happy, very satisfied, and he touches the feet of little Krishna. And then this very famous Gopala Sahasra Nama Sostram, which is beautifully composed by Lord Shiva. And later this was told to Mother Parvati also. It's a very, very famous sotra which is given by Lord Shiva himself. So that happened, that pastime happened in Gokula. Yes, Prabhu. So that is the sweetness of Lord Shiva, how eager he is to see Lord Krishna, and how Krishna beautifully reciprocates to the desire of Lord Shiva. And this is a very famous story, many of us may know, Bhasmasura. And this is he's a demon. As we know, all the demons know, they generally take shelter of Lord Shiva. You know why? Because they know Lord Shiva is called Ashutosh. Ashutosh means one who is very easily pleased. Doesn't matter whether a demon or a low-class person, but if he offers even a simple, sincere prayer, Lord Shiva becomes very pleased and very happy, very magnanimous heart. So this demons, understanding the very sweet nature of Lord Shiva, they take shelter of Lord Shiva because they know Lord Shiva will immediately grant boons. So this demon, Bhasmasura, was praying, was meditating and praying. And then Lord Shiva appeared, seeing his, as he is very pleased. And then he asked, what boon you want? And this, demons have very demonic mentality. So they can only ask very cheap boons. So he is asking this demon that, whoever, anyone's head I touch, they should be burned to ashes. Very demonic kind of benediction. And then Lord Shiva, being very pleased and very compassionate, he says that yes, your boon is granted. Yes, anyone said you touch, they will be burned to ashes. And see the demonic mentality. What did he do? He went and kept, he's trying to go, this is a picture. You can see the demon is going and trying to put his hand on Lord Shiva himself, who gave the boon. See, this is the mentality of the demons. They don't remember. They don't even remember from whom they got the favor. This is the point. So, even in the material world, we have sometimes this demonic mentality. The person who is trying to help us, or the people or who have, are the well-wishers, or who are, trying to do good for us. Sometimes we have, this mentality of even, killing them, and then, hurting them, and then causing harm to them. So here that is considered as a demonic mentality. So Bhasmasura is going to come, and Lord Shiva is running everywhere because he gave the boon, no? So he's running everywhere, all over the universe. And then Krishna could understand that Lord Shiva is put in difficulty because of his own boon. So he takes the form of a beautiful little boy. And when anyone sees a small child, beautiful looking child, they get distracted, right? So then what happens? Bhasmasura, on his way, he saw this little child, and the child says, oh, where are you going? And then the little child is telling that, and the Bhasmasura is telling to the child that I'm going, Lord Shiva gave me this boon. I'm going to try out whether this boon is true or not. I'm going to check, and then this little boy is telling, that, oh, what a mistake you have done. Oh, cool. Lord Shiva gave you the boon. Come on. Lord Shiva's boon, he gives boon, but it won't work. It won't work. He cheated you. You put your, hand on your own head and see, it won't work at all. And then this demon got really upset. Oh, really? I got cheated? Let me check. And he put his own hands on his head and he was burned to Basma, ashes. That way, Basma Sura, burned to ashes. So the Asura who became ashes. So Lord, Krishna tricked him and then burnt him to ashes. And then he told Lord Shiva, please don't give benedictions to demons so easily. You please, I know your heart is so compassionate and you just give benedictions like that without even thinking, but please do not give benedictions. So we can see the compassionate nature of Lord Shiva here. Okay. And this is a very beautiful pastime which happened in Kerala. So there was a very great devotee of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna there, he is called as Guruvayurappa. Very, very beautiful form. Why it is called Guruvayurappa? Because Guru and Vayu. So these two devatas, they took this beautiful deity of Lord Krishna, and they were looking for a beautiful place where to keep this deity. And then they came to a place, I will tell the story later also, because later also the story comes. And this Guru and Vayu, because they carried this beautiful form of Krishna, and they put him in this place became Guru Vayu. And this Krishna is so beautiful, so cute. And, so we can visit this place, very, very beautiful place. For me, my whole, I would say, before even coming to Krishna consciousness, my attraction to Krishna came by visiting this Guruvayu temple. Such a sweet Krishna, very reciprocative, very merciful. So this Guruvayurappan, they call it as Guruvayurappan, very little Krishna. And there, one great devotee was there by name Pundanam. And he come, and he was not a very very learned personality, but he come, he can just very beautifully sing so many pastimes of Lord Krishna. And this Pundanam, what happened was, he was this particular pastime happened in a place called Kotiyur. There was a Lord Shiva temple. And this Lord Shiva temple, they will open only for few days in a year. Other times it will be closed. So this Pundanam, he went there, and he was every day he will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Pastimes. And all the people would come and hear the narration of Pundanam because it was soaked with love, soaked with devotion. Anyone hears, they also feel, so much love for Krishna. Because as if a pure devotee is there, it becomes contagious. Their love for Krishna, when we are surrounding them, we also feel that mood, because of their devotion. So Pundanam's narration was so wonderful, and people were fully engrossed hearing his pastimes. So he was particularly narrating the pastime of Krishna teasing Mother Rukmini Devi. Very beautiful pastime coming in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna is telling to Rukmini Devi, you are born in a so aristocratic family, and your father and brother wanted you to marry. Rukmini wanted to marry you to Shishupala. He was a great king, but you denied all that and you married me. Like that he will be teasing Rukmini Devi, just to bring her devotion, to show to the world how her love, and devotion is so topmost, so great. So Pundanam was narrating it so sweetly, this pastime, and everyone was engrossed. And then next day, Pundanam was, when he was coming to open the Bhagavatam book, again the bookmark will be in the same chapter. And he will be thinking, oh, yesterday only I told about this pastime. Today again the bookmark is in the same place. I actually kept it in the next pastime, but how did it come here? So then he will think, maybe it is here, so I will again narrate. So again he was narrating the same pastime. Then next day he came, again next day it was in the same place. So like this, he was repeating the same pastime few times, and then the last day he narrated the pastime, he closed the book and then he kept it, and then he came out. And then when he came out after walking some distance, he realized that, oh, the temple will be now, this is the last darshan, it will be closed for some time and they will open only after some, after a long time only. So my book is inside. So I have to go and get the book. So he's going back by the time the temple was closed. But he could see that the little windows are open. And then, he could hear some sound basically. And then he was like trying to hear what is that conversation coming. And then he could see that there is he could hear a lot of sound, and then someone is speaking, and then it's, the voice is coming and it's saying that, actually, it is actually Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. Lord Shiva is telling to Mother Parvati, is narrating the same pastime, and he's the same pastime where the Rukmani pastime, and then he's asking Mother Parvati, how was the narration? And then Mother Parvati is telling, your narration is nice, but Poondanam was the best. When I was hearing from Poondanam, it was so wonderful. And then immediately Lord Shiva said, yes, I also felt the same. That's why every day I was keeping the bookmark in the same place, so that from his mouth, I can keep on hearing this pastime again and again and again. So like that, Lord Shiva was glorifying Poondanam so much, of his narration about Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Poondanam was struck in wonder, hearing all this conversation, and he was looking and he could see Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati and all the ghosts and goblins surrounded listening to this, conversation of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. And then when he was trying to, call out, immediately they all disappeared. So this is a very beautiful, how much Lord Shiva is eager, to hear from the pure devotees of Krishna. So that's very wonderful. And this is Shiva and Daksha story we see. It is a very elaborate pastime, but just to say a few words, we see that how Lord Shiva is so sober. That's why he's called Dhira. Very, very sober, unagitated. Nothing can agitate him, whether anger or lust doesn't agitate Lord Shiva. And we see that how Daksha is a father of Sati, his wife, Lord Shiva's wife Sati, and Daksha is the father of Sati. And then how Daksha, when he does a yajna, very big sacrifice, and then because once there was a sacrifice happening, and then Lord Shiva was also there, and all the devatas were there. When Daksha came, everyone stood up, but Lord Shiva did not stand, because Lord Shiva is not obliged to stand. But Daksha, because of his false ego, hurt by false ego, he was very hurt. He felt offended, and then he told that we will not give a share from the sacrifice to Lord Shiva. And then from that time onwards, he had a very different feeling towards Lord Shiva. And then what happened later, he when he became the chief of the Prajapatis, he arranged a big sacrifice, and in that sacrifice he called everyone, but he did not invite Lord Shiva. Somehow or other, Sati, came to know that all the people are going, and all the other daughters of Daksha were also, invited, and they were going to the sacrifice. She thought that, she felt very bad. But she thought that, that doesn't matter whether invitation has come or not. It's my father, so I should go. So she was asking Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said that, don't go. You will be very humiliated. But even after repeated this thing, Mother Sati said, it's okay, that only my father know. And then she goes there, she gets humiliated. And then how Sati gives up her body, all these pastimes happens. But we see that at one point of time, Daksha, very cruel words before this pastime, very cruel words he will actually, speak about Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, not even one word he will speak back, or he will justify, or he will get angry, undisturbed. So this is what is a position of very exalted personalities. They don't get agitated or a provoking situation. A person's, it is mentioned that a person's greatness is understood in provoking conditions, because in normal conditions, we may be very, we may be able to, exhibit our great qualities. But when provoking condition, when people come and irritate us and agitate us, disturb us, speak some bad words, and do some nonsense, automatically we get very offended. And then we kind of retaliate and protest, or we do many things. But here we see, in the case of Lord Shiva, how Daksha was humiliating him with so many cruel words, but yet Lord Shiva was very undisturbed. So that shows how in provoking situation also Lord Shiva was very sober, equipoised and undisturbed, and so that's the mood of Lord Shiva. We can see here. And this is another pastime of Banasura. Banasura is a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Asura, as in the name word, Bana Asura, Banasura. So the most of the demons, they take shelter of Lord Shiva, being Lord Shiva being kind. So Banasura was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He had 1,000 arms, very powerful personality. So one time Aniruddha was missing, Krishna's son, and then the entire Yadu dynasty was searching where Aniruddha is gone. And then later they came to that Banasura has kept him, have taken him. And so there became a great war, battle between the Yadus and Banasura and his army. So then what happened was, Banasura, he requested Lord Shiva also, because he is a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also came to help his devotee Banasura. And then what happened? Fierce battle happened. And then seeing the situation, Krishna himself personally came to assist the Yadus. And so it is like one side Lord Shiva is there, one side Lord Krishna is there. It is not that Lord Shiva is against Krishna or something, but here, he is very kind to his devotee Banasura. So that is the reason he wanted to help him. And he took side of Banasura. And then we could see that it's a very big pastime, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, how Banasura will release so many weapons, and from the other side there will be so many weapons. So fierce fighting happening, and all the devatas are watching in wonder. Oh my God, who will win in this battle? And then from Lord Shiva will also release his very special astra called Pashupata Astra. And then from seeing that, from the other side, Krishna will also release the Narayana Astra. So then so like that the fierce battle goes. At one point could see that Banasura side is getting weak. So finally, Lord Shiva sends Shiva Jvara, very powerful weapon. And then the Shiva Jvara, which is very hot, this, it is going towards, attacking all the army of Yadus. So that time, to rescue all of them, Krishna sends Narayana Jvara, which is so cold. So the cold, this thing can go and suppress this heat. And then what happens? Immediately, Shiva Jvara could not contain that, and Shiva Jvara is offering wonderful prayers to Lord Narayana. And these prayers are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can read. And then finally he says that I just came to help Banasura, and I forgot that you are on the other side. So my dear Lord, please, Banasura is my, even see how compassionate the Lord Shiva is. He says that, please, Banasura is my dear, devotee. So kindly excuse him. Kindly do not kill him and shower your mercy. That is the mood of Lord Shiva. And then immediately Krishna says that, yes, I have given promise to Prahalad that I will not kill any demons, because Prahalad has appeared in this demonic, the demon lineage. So because he's my pure devotee, I won't kill them. That's the reason. So what Lord Krishna will do is that he will cut off all the arms of the 1,000 arms of Banasura, just to, crush his pride. So he will tell Lord Shiva that just I am cutting off his arms because he has so much of false ego and pride. So I have to teach him a lesson. So I'm just cutting off his arms, but I won't kill him. So in that way, Banasura was released. So there's beautiful prayers offered by and Banasura also later comes and prays to Lord Krishna and he apologizes for his offenses, and then he releases Aniruddha. It's a very beautiful pastime. We could see that how Banasura also, so the point here is that how Lord Shiva, even though at a point, he's in a defeat, he's defeated, but yet his mind is so compassionate. He did not feel that, oh, I got defeated, oh, I got this thing, but rather he is pleading for his devotee. So such is the kindness of Lord Shiva. And this is the other pastime comes in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the sons of the king Prachina Barhi, the Prachetas, they all go, because King Prachina Barhi would request all the Prachetas, to become Prajapatis and create, further creation, more population. To become progenitors. So then the Prachetas, before, they go to perform sacrifice. So the Prachetas all, they are going and performing a sacrifice in the water, there is, and praying for the Lord, to give. So that's why, any big thing we want to do in our life or anything, always we should be taking benediction, the blessings from the Supreme Lord. Then we start any endeavor. Even it could be a small endeavor, big endeavor in our own lives. We should always, seek blessings and prayers, of course, from the Lord and from his devotees. So here we see the Prachetas are doing that. And they are very cooperative also. That's why this pastime is always highlighted for teamwork. Because you see that, in many places, when a father is giving an instruction, some sons may follow, some may not follow. Some of the family members may follow, some may not follow. Similarly, we see that, when a spiritual master gives an instruction, some disciple may follow, some may not follow. So there's always some, not a full cooperation. But when we work cooperatively, what is the power? We can see in this pastime that when the Prachetas all come together and pray to the Lord, who is first coming and blessing them? Lord Shiva is coming and blessing them. It is so nice to see that. Oh, sons of Prachina Bargi, I wish all good fortune for you. I know your purpose in coming here, and thus I have appeared before you just to show you mercy. You should know that anyone who is a surrendered soul unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is very dear to me. Because everyone was stunned how Lord Shiva appears, because even the great Rishi Munis, they are performing tapasyas for so many years, to get Lord Shiva to see face to face. But this Prachetas could immediately see in a short while the darshan of Lord Shiva and the blessings of Lord Shiva. So for that, Lord Shiva tells that I am so pleased because you are all cooperatively coming together and praying to the Supreme Lord. So that is very pleasing to me. So he says that one who properly executes his duties in the Varnashrama system becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma, and after becoming still more qualified, he can approach me. However, anyone who directly engages in the unalloyed devotional service of Lord Vishnu is immediately promoted to the spiritual world. You are all devotees of the Supreme Lord, and so please listen very carefully and attentively as I chant a mantra that is the best prayer for anyone who aspires to attain the ultimate goal of life. So Lord Shiva is also making a point. When we try to please the Supreme Lord, he becomes very pleased. It is not like, oh, when we are worshipping Lord Vishnu and we are worshipping Krishna, Lord Shiva is not, oh, I have to do something and separately please Lord Shiva. No, when we try to please Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, automatically Lord Shiva becomes pleased. That is what he's mentioning here. And not only that, he's so pleased that he's giving a very special prayer, which we all should read. I think if we have time, towards end, we are going to play this very great prayer given by Lord Shiva himself called Rudra Gita. This is a Gita or a song given by Lord Shiva, which is called Rudra Gita, and he gave this prayers to the prachetas, and he said that if you attentively repeat these prayers, you will be able to attain all success. When we sincerely worship Lord Krishna, and when we sincerely do devotional service to please Lord Krishna, automatically Lord Shiva is very pleased. In fact, he will benedict us more, just like he has benedicted the prachetas. So this is a very important point for us to understand. And also we can also read this Rudra Gita, especially being the auspicious day. We can try to read or hear. That is very, very auspicious, and Lord Shiva will be very pleased. Okay. And this is Vallabhacharya. As we know, Vallabhacharya is a very great devotee of Lord Krishna. And also, anyone who is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, they are also very devoted to, Lord Shiva, in the sense because they know that Shiva is, is a great Vaishnava, and by his mercy only we can serve Krishna very nicely. So Vallabhacharya knew that. So one time Vallabhacharya was in a great distress, and he went to Lord Shiva and he was offering prayers. And then Lord Shiva appeared to him and then asked, what is his wish? And he wanted to fulfill his desire. And Vallabhacharya said that, because he's a pure devotee, he told that, my dear Lord Shiva, I don't want to ask anything in particular, any material desire. I request you to give me what is most dear to you. That you please give me. So we can see the pure devotees, they don't go and ask for material things, but rather they ask what is the topmost. So we here see Vallabhacharya goes and asks Lord Shiva, what is the topmost, and what is that which is most dear to you, that you give me. And then what did Lord Shiva do? Lord Shiva smiled and he gave this beautiful deity of Lord Krishna. So that from that time onward, we have the Vallabha Sampradaya, separately, Vaishnava Sampradaya. And then he considered Lord Shiva as a spiritual master. So generally, we consider Lord Shiva as a great Mahajana, great spiritual master, and in a instructing guru who can guide us, to serve Krishna very nicely. So that's a point here mentioned, that if somebody worships Lord Shiva with a pure desire, Lord Shiva will ensure that person will attain highest liberation, either by directing the person to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in this life, or at the end of life by chanting the names of Lord Ram in his ears. Especially in Kasi, Kasi is is Lord Shiva's abode, or Varanasi, we say. It is mentioned that whoever leaves their body in Kasi, in their ears, Lord Shiva, personally recites the name of Lord Rama, so that they can. That's why, people go to Kasi, want to leave the body. Why? Because they attain, they put an end to the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death, because Lord Shiva gives his benediction that anyone leaves the body, that he utters this name of Lord Rama. And not only that, anyone who worships Lord Shiva without any material desire, he directs them to, Krishna. So you see many devotees of Lord Krishna, Shiva, they are directed to the worship of Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna. Many examples. Even we can see in our own devotees also, many of them have worshipped Lord Shiva very sincerely in the beginning, and then how Lord Shiva has guided them in the path of Krishna consciousness. So, even, I can see that, even though I have a long way to go in my Krishna consciousness, but personally, one of the reason I wanted to do this, class on Lord Shiva, because I felt personally, very grateful to Lord Shiva, because in my childhood, the only deity I worshipped was Lord Shiva. And I really liked him, and I was worshipping him. And then I could see that it is only purely his mercy that I got into this Krishna consciousness. And then I got into this great association of devotees, and the opportunity to serve Lord Krishna purely by his mercy. purely by His mercy. And so that is the reason I felt that, to that Lord who has directed me very kindly and lovingly to the worship of Krishna, at least I should glorify Him on this very special day. Even when I was in, I just want to say one more word, was also that when I was in Malaysia for some time, and I remember when I went there, actually it was a new place for me. I didn't know anybody there, totally a new place, and it was my first visit to a foreign country. I was so scared in one sense, and but I know where the devotees are there, but I mean, I don't personally know them. So I was put in one location from the university. I went for my higher studies, and I was put in one of the accommodation. And that accommodation, from there, I was wondering, is there any temples there? How will I reach? And the ISKCON temple was very far, very far. And without any person or any company, we can't go to that place because it's very far. And I am so new to the country, and I didn't want to get lost. So I was wondering, how will I go there? And then I was thinking, is there any local temple around? Then I saw one temple, which was Lord Shiva temple. I became so happy, and then I thought I will go and offer my prayers to Lord Shiva, because I'm just lost. I don't know. I have no friends, no relatives. I don't know anyone here, and the temple is too far. How am I going to sustain in this new country? So I went to this temple of Lord Shiva, and I was offering prayers. I don't know why I have come here, and I'm really very scared because I can't associate and with the devotees, and I really seek your blessings. Please protect me, and that I get connected to devotees, and I can continue, because in India itself, I was connected with devotees and I was practicing Krishna consciousness. So I was praying to Lord Shiva like that. You won't believe, after offering my prayers, and I was just turning back and then walking few steps only, I could see the kartal sounds and mridanga sound and the kirtan sound, and I was like, what is that? And then when I turned back, it's a group of devotees performing sankirtan. I was so happy. And then I went and asked them, is there any nearby place where I can come? I'm so new. And then they said that, just close to your, accommodation, here we have a satsang, we have a house program is happening here on a weekly basis. They told that. In fact, I was there for months. I didn't know such a program is happening and such a temple is existing. Only after praying to Lord Shiva, that I was guided, not just a later, instant reciprocation. I prayed, and then immediately I could see devotees, and then I got connected to the program, and then from there I got connected to the temple. So he is extremely merciful, and what can we say? So we can sincerely offer our prayers on this very auspicious day, and certainly Lord Shiva will guide us and direct us and guide us in approaching Lord Krishna, in performing our devotional service to Krishna, and finally achieving the perfection of our life, Krishna Prema. He will be blessing us all throughout. We can go to the next pastime. Oh, this is a very, very beautiful pastime. Devotees who have, how many of you here have visited Navadip Dham? Please raise your hand. Anyone who has gone to Navadip Mandal Parikrama, Navadip Mandal Parikrama, you can raise your hand. I can see 2 of the devotees, 3 devotees, Navadip Mandal Parikrama. Oh yeah, 4, 5. Looks like many of them are 6. It's a beautiful parikrama. We should all go. We will talk about it sooner on that topic of Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, which is 9 islands, which is there in Bengal. Beautiful place and so many pastimes. And this is one particular island. This pastime happened. This Shiva temple is called Hamsa Vahana Shiva. We will be surprised. What is the Vahana of Lord Shiva? Can anyone say? What is the Vahana or the carrier of Lord Shiva is called?
Nandi.
Nandi, bull, right? Bull. But here it says Hamsa Vahana, bit confusing, isn't it? Is a Nandi carrier, Nandi Vahana Shiva it should be. Why it is Hamsa Vahana Shiva? There is a beautiful story here. And whose Vahana is Hamsa? Anyone knows? Lord Shiva's carrier is Nandi. Whose carrier is Hamsa? Lord Brahma. Yeah, very good. See, children are intelligent. So Hamsa Vahana Shiva. So Hamsa is the Lord Brahma's carrier. So how did Lord Shiva is having this carrier? We will see this pastime. So this is a very beautiful pastime. In the 9 islands, one of the island is called Madhya Dvipa. So in the Madhya Dvipa, this pastime happened, and this pastime very beautifully narrated. Lord Nityananda Prabhu is taking Jiva Goswami, to the 9 islands, and then he's showing each island and he's telling the pastimes. And Lord Nityananda is Balaram himself, and he's telling the pastimes, and he says about the Madhya Dvipa, this beautiful pastime of Hamsa Vahana Shiva. What is happening is that this Madhya Dvipa is a place where, Shaunaka Rishi and all the sages, all the sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi assemble in this place called Madhya Dvipa to hear the nectarian pastimes of Lord Gauranga from Suta Goswami. We know that Suta Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, to the all the Sage Goswami also speaks Gaura Bhagavat. He also spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, which
Hare Krishna Mataji, we cannot hear you, Mataji.
Gauranga.
Where is that?
Sorry, my internet was having some signal. So I need to reconnect. Just give me a minute. Sorry. Haribol. So I'm trying to connect. Just give me a minute. So it happens, See, challenges comes when we do devotional service, but by the mercy of the Lord, and we can. Okay. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
I'm trying to cancel one. Yes, sorry about that. Sometimes, obstacles comes, but by the mercy of the Lord, we can overcome it. Okay, so what happens? Lord Shiva was so eager to hear the pastimes of Lord Shiva. So Lord Gauranga, And then what happens? He comes to this place. So he wanted to come and hear the Gaura Bhagavat. So he was looking for the carrier Nandi. And then he could see that Nandi is going to go very, very slow, right? So he was so desperate and he was so eager that he wanted to go quickly. So then he was seeing the Hamsa of Lord Brahma. And then he requested Brahmaji, please give your Hamsa, let me go fast. And then he took the Hamsa of Lord Shiva and then reached this place to hear the Gaura Bhagavat from this great personalities. So the eagerness of Lord Shiva to hear the pastimes of the Lord, the pastimes of Lord Gauranga. So how eager we should be to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. So Lord Shiva is teaching us as a Mahajana, he's teaching us that what a eagerness we need to have to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. Sometimes, generally I'm saying, when, those days, we use, when we go live in the, to the temples, sometimes a Bhagavatam class, might have started halfway, we may go and listen to the class. Sometimes we may go and listen to the last part of the class. But here Lord Shiva is telling that how important for us to have the desire to be there right from the beginning, to hear, the glories of the Lord. So as a Mahajan, he's personally showing by example the eagerness one should develop to hear the pastimes of the Lord. So so that's very, very important. The more we start relishing hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the more we will be able to awaken our love for Krishna. So that's the reason it is very important for us to develop that eagerness. This is one very powerful lesson Lord Shiva is teaching. He will be very pleased if we also develop that desire to hear about Lord Gauranga. Okay. So Lord Shiva gets attracted by Mohini Murti. As we know that Lord Shiva doesn't get attracted to any women. Even when Cupid, he's called as Manmadan, they call in Tamil. So he is Madana. He is actually, when Cupid shoots his arrows on anyone, that person becomes completely bewildered, finished. Big kings, they have fallen down because they were, affected by Cupid. So it's not very easy to conquer lusty desires. But here we see Lord Shiva, when once Cupid thought he will actually try to allure Lord Shiva himself, then Lord Shiva opened his third eye and burnt Cupid to ashes. But the same Lord Shiva, when the Supreme Lord took the form of a Mohini Murti, he got bewildered. And then he went behind Mohini Murti. So he was not. So the point here is that the great devotees and the pure devotees, they are not bewildered by the Mahamaya, the material energy. They may get bewildered by the Yoga Maya, the spiritual energy of the Lord, but not by the Mahamaya, which generally in the material world we get affected. If some generally we fall prey. So it is one of the very difficult things to control is the lust. Krishna himself says, Kamayesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. Why one is repeatedly committing offenses, mistakes, or committing sins. What is the reason one commits sins? Even he don't want to commit sin. We know that we should not commit sin, but we end up committing sin. What is the reason? And then Krishna, when Arjuna asks this question, Krishna says it's karma. It is a lust personified. It's a lust which is the reason, for committing sins. So it's very difficult to overcome lust. And in the material world, everyone gets victimized by lust. Only pure devotees can overcome lust. And Lord Shiva, being the very great personality, he burnt Cupid to ashes, who is actually the Lord of lust. But here he gets affected by Mohini Murti because Mohini Murti is the Lord Krishna himself. So that is not something to be compared to the ordinary lust. So this is a very beautiful pastime, and Lord Shiva doesn't feel ashamed because, my dear Lord, because I have got only attracted to you. So it's a very, very beautiful pastime. Why the Lord takes this form is, to give the shad, to allure the demons, so that the nectar pot can be taken and given to the to the devatas. Yeah. So this is a very another pastime to show the extreme compassion of Lord Shiva. And we see here that Lord Shiva, when the churning of milk ocean, when the milk ocean was churned, so in the churning of the milk ocean pastime, the first product which came out was poison. So everyone was wondering what will happen, who will actually, take this poison. So then, everyone remembered Lord Shiva because he is very magnanimous. And Lord Shiva took the poison, and Mother Parvati goes and, holds her hand in the neck of Lord Shiva. That's why, so that the poison doesn't go, enter inside. And that's why he's called Neelakanta. And not only that, Mother Parvati is asking a question, my dear Lord, how is it you're able to, take this poison and still not affected? Because poison is something which will, kind of destroy a person. But what is that potency that you are able to, take this poison? And Lord Shiva says that it is the name of Lord Rama which gives the potency, to take this, poison, this great poison. So we can see that how the Lord, here one side we can see the extreme compassionate nature of Lord Shiva to benefit, or being the well-wisher of all the living entities. He is ready to take that which is very detrimental or destructive for everyone. At the same time, to save all the people, he is taking the poison. So that shows his selfless nature. At the same time, Lord Shiva is also bringing the glory of the holy name. When we chant the name of Lord Rama, we can be immortal. We will not be affected by anything in this world. No obstacles are obstacles when we take the name of the Lord. So that is also a point which Lord Shiva is teaching us, that when we take the holy name of the Lord, nothing can obstruct us, nothing can stand as an obstacle, and nothing can actually destroy us. Because the name of the holy name of the Lord is so powerful and potent that it will protect us. So we can be protected by taking the holy name of the Lord. Yes, Prabhu. So then this pastime happens in the Lord Shiva's pastime, where we see that when Lord Nrsingadev appeared, to kill Hiranyakashipu, and then Lord Nrsingadev was so angry. No one could pacify, Lord Nrsingadev. We all know that. So that time, Lord Shiva also is offering prayers. Brahmaji, everyone is offering prayers to Nrsingadev to become calm, to give up his anger. Why Lord Nrsingadev was angry? Because he was so angry on Hiranyakashipu that he was trying to, cause suffering to his dear devotee Prahlad. So that time Lord Shiva is also offering beautiful prayers of Kopi, very nice. This thing is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, where he requests a Lord to become very peaceful. So this is Lord Shiva's prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. And he says that anger, you should not become angry because I only should bring it, because that's a form I can do the destruction. So it is not that Rudra, the fierce form of anger to destroy, because that the destruction is the activity of Lord Shiva at the annihilation time, at the end of the Pralaya. So he's mentioning to Lord Nrsingadev, so please, you don't take this form, you become peaceful, and that is my and it is not, the time has come, and it's not your feature either. Yeah, so he's mentioning to that. Okay, Prabhu, I'll go to the next one. So this is so the story of touchstone is that one Brahmana who was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, he prays to Lord Shiva, my dear Lord Shiva, please, I am requesting you to give me a boon. And he's very praying very fervently and sincerely. And Lord Shiva becomes pleased with the Brahmana, and then he tells to the Brahmana, yes, you please go to my very dear devotee, Sanatana Goswami. He's one of the 6 Goswamis. He tells to the Brahmana that go to Sanatana Goswami and you will receive the greatest gift from Sanatana Goswami. So he goes to Sanatana Goswami and he tells that Lord Shiva came. Lord Shiva told me to come to you. So please give me, I am very poor and I am this and I am that. Kindly, benedict me. So then Sanatana Goswami will give him a touchstone. So touchstone, as we know, anything you touch, it becomes gold. So where the Sanatana Goswami takes this touchstone from a garbage thing, he takes the touchstone and gives to this Brahmana. So the Brahmana became very happy that he got a touchstone, and after walking for a while, then he realizes, oh, I am so happy that I got a touchstone. Anything I touch, it will become gold. But I have a question that if this touchstone is a great gift, why that Sanatana Goswami has kept this touchstone in a garbage can? That means he should be having something even more valuable. That's the reason he has put this in the garbage can. So let me go back and ask him. So he went back to Sanatana Goswami and then he asked, I asked you for the greatest gift. You gave me this, I'm happy, but I could see that you should be having something greater than this. That's the reason this you have not valued much. Then Sanatana Goswami will say, okay, yes, I got something greater than this. But for that, you should go and throw this touchstone in the nearby river and come back. So he will go and throw the touchstone and then come back. And then Sanatana Goswami will give him the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He will say that just by chanting this holy name, your life will be perfect. This is beyond, this material touchstone. And this is the greatest gift I can give you. And then the Brahmana will chant the holy name and will become very pleased. And Lord Shiva becomes very pleased that this Brahmana received the real treasure. So let's see the transcendental qualities of Lord Shiva, full of wonderful qualities. So he's the topmost Vaishnava, as we know. There are many, many wonderful devotees of the Lord, mentioned in the scriptures of Lord Krishna. And of all of them, it is mentioned that Lord Shiva is considered as the topmost. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. He is the best of the Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Krishna. Very, very sober, very always remembering, carrying the lotus feet, Sankarshana form of the Lord. He is always meditating and his tongue is always decorated with the name of Lord Rama. So he is topmost Vaishnava, an ideal husband, because we can see that he always treated Mother Parvati so wonderfully in all the pastimes. Even as Sati, we see in the Daksha's pastime, how when Sati was leave her body, then after that, Lord Shiva will bring all his associates and, will teach a lesson to Daksha, and he was so considerate and compassionate. And then he even gave Lord Mother Parvati half of his body, Ardhanarishwara, so he gave such an importance and respect and had a great love for Mother Parvati, ideal husband. And Ashutosh, as we mentioned earlier, he becomes very easily pleased. It doesn't matter, and he treats everyone equal. In the sense, even he's so compassionate to the most downtrodden, like the ghosts, demons. He doesn't see that someone is a devata, so I will give him more benediction. Or someone is an asura, okay, you wait for some time. Not like that. Anyone who comes to him, he treats them equally and he gives them the favor of Lord Hari. So that is Ashutosha. And he grants the highest perfection to those enemies whom he kills also. You see that Bhasmasura, Ravana. Ravana was a great devotee. But then Ravana was, could be killed by Lord Rama so that Ravana could get liberated, right? So like that, you see all those demons also, he somehow sees that they are getting, liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So that is Lord Shiva's greatest mercy. Even to the enemies, he is very merciful. Generally, we are very kind to their friends. In this material world, we are very partial. If someone is treating us nicely, someone is our friend, we do everything for them. But generally, we don't, kind of want to do anything for the enemies. But here we see Lord Shiva, he doesn't see, he's above all the dualities, friend, enemy, all these dualities, and he's very equipoised. Yes, Lord Shiva is the most attractive of self-realized persons. Very, very, because of his beautiful, wonderful nature, he attracts. There are many self-realized souls. Of all that, Lord Shiva is so wonderful and topmost. That's why you see many people are attracted to Lord Shiva. If you see, Lord Shiva temples are more, in fact. Wherever we go, people, Shivaratri, you see the temple is filled with people. Because Lord Shiva gives benedictions very freely, and he's very attractive and very, very compassionate, very kind. So someone is so kind and so extending, people would love to go to that person, right? That's why all Shiva temples are always full. So he's the most attractive. Yes, and he's one of the Mahajanas, 12 Mahajanas, as we saw. The 12 Mahajanas are Brahma, Shambhu, Shukadev Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj, Narada Muni, Janaka Maharaj, 4 Kumaras, Kapila Muni, Swayambhuva Manu, Bhishma Dev, Bali, and Yamaraj. So we see that Lord Shiva is one of the 12 Mahajanas mentioned in the scriptures. And he is called Nataraja, the great dancer. And his there are different kinds of dance Lord Shiva performs. And one of the famous dances is a Tandava Nartana, which he does at the Pralaya time, the annihilation time. And I think all the, as one of the arts of dance, Bharatanatyam and many traditional dance, they worship Lord Shiva because he is the Lord of the dance and great dancer, Nataraja. Yes. And greatest Vairagi, in the sense, very detached. So you see Lord Shiva, he gives great benedictions for people. People come to Lord Shiva and ask for all material benedictions. So give me house, give me this, give me that. All material desires, they come. And Lord Shiva gives them everything. But he himself is very detached. And we see that he wears only, he is not wearing any costly ornaments. He is not dressed in very opulent clothing. We see that he is very, very simple, and very detached. So that is the mood of Lord Shiva. He's, as personally, is very great, detached, Vairagi. And Ardhanarishwara, we see that he gave his half of the body to Mother Parvati. So that's the way he treated Mother Parvati equally. Yes, Prabhu. And he's in charge of the destruction of the material world. So it is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita, Shiram yata dati vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata pradadasti heto yakshambhutam apitata samupaidi karyat govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So the comparison is given like, as the milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Sambhu is transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. In one sense, it is the same Lord, but he has come for performing the work of destruction. So the Lord is the Supreme Lord is expanding, for the activity of destruction as Lord Shiva. Yes. So the attributes of Lord Shiva, we see the third eye on his forehead. He has a trishul, and this musical instrument which he carries is called Damaru, and he has the holy river Mother Ganga on his matted hair. He has his crescent moon and the snake Vasuki around the snake, and Nandi bull carrier, and he wears a tiger skin, and he puts the ashes. The ashes represents Lord Shiva is reminding everyone that how this material, how this material world is temporary and the material body is temporary, and finally one has to the material body goes back to one of the Panchaputas, to the ashes. So he's because he's teaching us this detachment, that how one should give importance for self-realization. So by his own bodily, dressing, and by his this thing, the Lord Shiva is teaching us that real aspect of the of self-realization, that we are not this body, we are soul. And when this body takes birth, that means the body annihilates also. So the purpose of the soul is to understand the Supreme Lord and achieve perfection in this life. So Lord Shiva is teaching us that. Yes. So Lord Shiva is a devotee and servant of Lord Hari. Padma Purana, he tells, Mother Parvati is asking Lord Shiva the Vishnu Sahasranama, 1,000 names of Vishnu. She is very considerate as a mother. She says that not everyone can chant Vishnu Sahasranama, because people of, especially when people in the coming ages, Kali Yuga, they are, as Manda Sumanda Matayo, very less intelligent and also very dull and lazy. So they can't chant all the names of the Lord. So what is a shortcut, my dear Lord? Can you give a shortcut? So Lord Shiva tells a shortcut. What is the shortcut he is telling? Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Shri Rama Nama Varanane. So he says Rama, 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 Rama. Rameti. Rameti means Rama iti. This name of Lord Rama, when we repeatedly chant, that is equal, 3 times chanting Lord Rama is equal to 1,000 times chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. So in that way, he's giving, and he's telling us that the power and potency of Lord Rama's name. So just by chanting Rama's name, one gets a benefit of chanting 1,000 names of Vishnu. And then also Lord Shiva is, as is very famous as Kshetrapal. He guards all the holy places. Wherever the holy places or sacred places of the Lord are there, he guards. He becomes the guardian, transcendental guardian of the place. He protects that dham. So as a Kshetrapal Shiva, he protects the holy dham. And that's why, and then without his permission, we cannot enter into the holy dham. So we should seek his blessings and mercy before entering into any holy dham. And then we will be able to get entrance into this special places of the dham. And Lord Shiva also sings the glories of Gauranga. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentions in his Sandhya Arati song, we say, Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada, Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada, Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gaurara Sampada, the Lord line. Shiva Shuka Narada Preme. So that one we see that if you go to Sri Radha Landaneshwar temple, it is mentioned that there are 2 asanas kept. I don't know how many of you saw the altar very nicely. We have Radha Landaneshwara, we have Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani, and we have Giriraj and also Gaurnitai. And then we see here 2 small asanas kept. It is mentioned that Lord Shiva is always present in the evening Sandhya Arati and Narada Muni. So that is the reason you see that asanas are kept, so that when Lord Shiva comes, yes, Mataji is mentioning, I have seen the asana. That is for Lord Shiva, that one of the asanas. So when we do the Gaur Arati in our home, Lord Shiva is present because he is very pleased when Gauranga's name is called out, because he was so eager to hear Gaura Bhagavat and he took the Hamsa Vahana, right? So when we also chant Gauranga's name, speak the glories of Lord Gauranga and worship Lord Gauranga, then Lord Shiva will be so pleased. Yes. Next one, Prabhu. So today is being the special day. We can go a little extra, so I hope you won't mind. Just few more slides to see. Glories of Rudra Gita. Rudra Gita is in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the special prayers given by Lord Shiva himself, Rudra. So Lord Vishnu, he tells about Rudra Gita. He glorifies Rudra Gita, the song of Lord Shiva. What is he telling? Those who will offer me the prayers composed by Lord Shiva, both in the morning and in the evening, will be given benedictions by me In this way, they can both fulfill their desires and attain good intelligence. So Vishnu is speaking about Rudra Gita, glorifying Lord Shiva's prayers, that if anyone will offer these prayers, sincerely in the morning and evening, I will give them benediction personally, and their desires will be fulfilled. They will be attaining all success in life. So, if you get time, please go back and read the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where you can see this very nice prayers of we will play at the end. Okay, Prabhu, we'll go. So Shivaratri, what is Shivaratri? There are many descriptions, but one of the descriptions given is that it is a Ratri, means a night. It is a night of Lord Shiva, which it is a day. It is a night where Lord Shiva got married to Mother Parvati. It is a marriage of Lord Shiva and Parvati happened. It is mentioned that Shivarati Vritam Krishna Chatur Dashyantu Falgune Vaishnave Rapitatkaryam Shri Krishna Pritaye Sada. Every lunar month on the 13th or 14th of the dark half of the moon phase, there is a Shivaratri. But in the Vedic month of Falgun, February, March, there is a Maha Shivaratri. So the ceremony takes place mainly at night, which is observed in the honor of Lord Shiva, who was married to Parvati, Mother Durga, on this day. So it is a very special day, and there is a pastime mentioned that what is the glory of this Shivaratri. So once there was a King Chitrabhanu who was observing the this Shivaratri along with his wife. And that time, the great sage Ashtavakra Muni, he came to his palace, and he saw Maharaj Chitrabhanu was observing Shivaratri, and he was asking, what is the reason that you are observing Shivaratri? So then Chitrabhanu Maharaj said that I have got this benediction to remember my past life. And in my past life, I was a hunter by the name Suswara. That means he had a very beautiful voice, and he will go in the forest singing very nice melodies, and all the forest animals, especially the deers and all, would get very captivated, and they will come near, and then he will capture them and take them to their home, to his home. So in that way he was maintaining his family. So one day when Suswara was going to the forest, and he was singing, and then he was trying to see, he couldn't get any animal that day. And it was he was trying to go inside the forest, but he could not get any animal, and finally he could get only one deer. But it was, and he felt that this won't be enough for my family. But then by the time it was a heavy rain and storm, and then he thought, okay, I cannot go home at this moment, so let me take shelter under this tree, and then in the morning I will go. So he climbed up the tree, and he was sitting there, and he was thinking, oh, my whole family will be hungry. I couldn't take food to them. And then he was remembering his family, and he was crying and shedding tears. And what happens, he was plucking the leaves, and he didn't know what to do. He was plucking the leaves and putting from the top down, and crying incessantly. So what happened was, unknowingly, there was a Shivalinga on the bottom of the tree, and the leaves which he was plucking and putting was the bale leaves, the Vilva leaves, which is very dear to Lord Shiva. So then, so unknowingly he was putting the Vilva leaves on Shivalinga, and the tears, there was Lord Shiva took that as an abhishek, tears coming from his eyes and the Vilva leaves. So what happened was, because of doing this unknown act, but anyway, he was continuing. He did this, and then of course morning he got up, and then he took his deer, and then he went to his house, and he was continuing his simple life anyway. But then later, when he went back to this thing, abode of Yamaraj, then he was actually given, he was excused, and he was given heavenly planets. He was promoted to heavenly planets, because The reason given was that unknowingly, because he was putting the bilva leaves, all his sins were washed off, and then he was given the heavenly, enjoyment. And he being in heaven for a very, very long time, and then later he took birth and came down as King Chitrabhanu Maharaj. So we see here also a point that one may go to heavenly planets, but that's not permanent. One has to again come down to the material world. Only when someone goes to Goloka, one can eternally be present. Otherwise, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Mamupaitya Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. So, it is mentioned by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita that from Brahma Loka to every planet we may go, but we cannot live there eternally. We have to come back. Once our punya, the pious credits are finished, we have to come back to the material world. So that is also, we can understand here. But then when he came as Chitrabhanu Maharaj, then he remembered that unknowingly I did something, and for that I got so much of benediction, and my sins were all vanished. So what to speak about knowingly doing it? So that is the reason I'm observing the Shivaratri, said Chitrabhanu Maharaj. So it's a very, very auspicious day. In fact, in Vrindavan, what they do, because Bilba leaves are very dear to Lord Shiva, and Lord Ram's name is very dear to Lord Shiva. So they take the Bilba Patra and they write in the sandal, the sandalwood pulp, they write the name of Rama in each Bilba leaf, and they put on the as an abhishek for Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva becomes very pleased when one offers a bilva leaf with a written Rama's name. Becomes very, very pleasing to Lord Shiva. So that also we can see. So let's see some of the temples today. Special being the special day, we can have some darshan of some of the very special places of Lord Shiva. Yes, Prabhu. So we were talking about the Hamsa Vahana Shiva, we can see here. And then there is a Harihara Kshetra, where half the part is Lord Shiva, half the part is Vishnu. So that is also Lord Vishnu in black. You can see the third deity from in the first half, third deity down. So Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in black and white forms. And then as I was mentioning, Lord Shiva is as a Kshetrapal, right? He protects and guards the Kshetra, the holy place. So in Navadip Dham, the Kshetrapal Shiva is called Vriddha Shiva. So Vriddha Shiva, and the Parvati is called Praudamaya. So that's why in Navadip Mandal Parikrama also, before we start circumambulating all the 9 islands, we first go and take permission and blessings from Lord Shiva as Vriddha Shiva, Praudamaya, take their blessings, and then we go around to the other islands, circumambulate the other islands. Yes, Prabhu. And Lord Shiva as Gopeshwar Mahadev so he became, as we know, that Lord Shiva wanted to be part of the Rasa Leela. So then you cannot enter into Rasa Leela in a male body. So then Lord Shiva was given this very special, the form of Gopi. So that's why he's called Gopeshwar Mahadev. So I offer my respectful obeisances to Shri Gopeshwar, who is merciful Lord Shiva himself. He removes troubles and grants spiritual love in Vrindavan. So we can pray to Lord Shiva so he can remove all the obstacles and troubles in the path of his spiritual life, and can bless us with the love of Krishna Prema. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited also all the holy places. If you remember, when we were doing the earlier Chaitanya Charitamrita class, when he went to especially the South India, all the places, Mahaprabhu visited all the Lord Shiva's temples, and then he performed wonderful Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan there. And especially the temples, some of the temples are Vishramgarh, Dirgha Vishnu, Bhuteshwar Mahadev, Gokarna. All these are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes. And he is in Mathura, he is a Kshetrapal as Bhuteshwar Mahadev. So as Bhuteshwar Mahadev, he is the protector of all the direction. Dikpal, it's mentioned that Dikpala means all the directions he is protecting as well. And Bhuteshwar Mahadev protects from the western side. It is mentioned. It mentioned the tradition among the Vaishnavas is that when coming to Braja, one must first go to Mathura to take permission from. So before even going to Vrindavan, one goes to Mathura, Vrajamandal. Before in Vrajamandal Parikrama also, Navadip Mandal Parikrama, we should go to Vriddha Shiva. And before starting Vrajamandal Parikrama, which we saw earlier, we need to take permission from Lord Shiva in Mathura as Bhuteshwar Mahadeva. It is mentioned in Mathura Mahatmya that, and the verses are quoted from Adi Varaha Purana, that we have to take blessings from Bhuteshwar Mahadev to do our Vrajamandal or to enter Braja, because he is one of the personalities who can give us the love for Krishna. Yes. Lord Shiva temples in Vrindavan, Chakleshwar Mahadev in Govardhan, on the northern bank of Manasi Ganga in Govardhan. There is 5 Shivalingas that are famous by the name Chakleshwar Mahadev. So they are considered as 5 phases. That's why, Brahma, it's called, the song also goes, Brahma has got 4 heads. That's why Brahma bole Chaturmukhe, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Mahadeva Panchamukhe, 5 faces. He is glorifying Lord Rama. So they protect the area of Govardhan, Chakleshwar Mahadev. And it is a very nice pastime is also there where the part of Manasika is Chakratita. He stays in that place as Chakleshwar. And here Krishna lifted, when Krishna, he requested Sudarshan Chakra to appear above the mountain to dry up all the rain coming down on Govardhan, so that the Vrajavasis standing underneath would not drown. And also, Sanatana Goswami was once in Govardhan. He was, Sanatana Goswami is very dear to Lord Shiva also. He is one of the Goswamis. And one time Sanatana Goswami was leaving a particular place because so many mosquitoes were there and it was disturbing his bhajan. Then immediately Lord Shiva felt very bad. And Lord Shiva said that I want your association. So please don't go away. I will make sure that, this place is free from all the disturbance. So that is Lord Shiva's, very special, favor to the devotees of Krishna. Yeah. Lord Shiva temple in Vrindavan as Nandeshwar Mahadev, and in Nandagaon, where the palace of Nanda Maharaj is there, where Lord Shiva is present as Nandeshwar Mahadev. It is mentioned that the devotees in Nandeshwar Hill, the Nandeshwar Hill is there. Lord Shiva himself becomes Nandeshwar Hill. Because, so that he can get the food dust of all the Brajavasis. So that's very amazing. The devotees declare that Nandeshwar Hill, the form of Lord Shiva, now shining as Nanda Maharaj's capital, is an endlessly beautiful crown decorating Vrindavan, as in Nandagam in the form of Nandeshwar Mahadeva. And even today, the Charanamrita and Mahaprasad of Lord Krishna is first offered to Nandeshwar Mahadev. Okay. Then the Lord Shiva's temple and guardians of Radha Kund. Radha Kund is protected in all 4 directions by Mahadev. Radha Kund is a special place. It's a most sacred place in the entire universe. It is very dear to Lord Krishna. It's a bathing place of Srimati Radharani, created by Radharani. And so this all the sites of Radha Kund are also protected by Mahadev. And the 2 most ancient mandirs here are Kundeshwar Mahadev and Bankandi Mahadev. So when coming to Radha Kund, it is best to first stop and offer our prayers to Mahadev and seek his permission to enter Radha Kund. Kundeshwar Mahadev protects the south side of Radha Kund. Bankandi Mahadev protects the east side. Rameshwar Mahadev protects the west side, and Mahadev shrine adjacent to the Radha Raman Ghats and northern side. So we can see how Lord Shiva is protecting the whole Dham, and how important for us to first take his blessings to enter the Dham. Only he can show the real Dham. We may physically go, but the spiritual eyes to open, he only helps us. He only blesses us. Yes. And Lingaraj temple, we know, is visited by Mahaprabhu. It is in Orissa. And we know that Lord Shiva, this pastime also we saw in our Chaitanya Charitamrita class, where Ekamravana, which is called as Bhuvaneshwar, was earlier named as Ekambravana, and how Lord Shiva wanted to give that place for Lord Shiva, for Krishna, and he stays there as Bhuvaneshwar Mahadev. So and there all the first offering is from Krishna's remnants are first taken by Bhuvaneshwar Mahadev, and then later it was distributed to everyone. So we can see that Lord Shiva is pleased in that way. Okay, yeah. Mamiyu temple in Kerala. This is near Guruvayur. So I was telling the pastime of Guruvayur, the Guru and Vayu, both the Devatas, they carried a very beautiful deity of Lord Krishna, and they were coming down to the material world to place this beautiful deity so that the people can worship Krishna there. And they were looking for a very wonderful place, a very sacred place, and they couldn't find. They were going round and round and round. Finally, they saw one particular place which was looking so effulgent, so wonderful vibration. Okay, so let's come down and see this place and put the deity here. And when they came down, they saw that Lord Shiva was meditating. That's why that place was looking so effulgent and it was so vibrant. So when they saw, they felt that how can we disturb Lord Shiva, because he's already, sitting in this place and performing meditation. So we should not disturb. So when they were about to move, immediately Lord Shiva, understanding the heart of Guru and Vayu, he called them and he said that, okay, you have come down for some purpose. What is that? And then when they said that we were looking for a place for the worship of Lord Krishna, this very great deity. I am not sure whether this deity was the deity of Rukmini Devi. I just need to double check, but I think something like that, and a very old deity. And then when Lord Shiva heard that, he immediately said, "Oh, he's my Lord, he's my master. So please, this place is for him." So he left that place and gave the place for Krishna to be present. That place is called the Guruvayur. And then immediately Krishna so sweetly reciprocated that, I don't want you to leave. I want you to be near to me. So that, so you should reside close to me, and my devotees, whoever is coming to worship me, will also come and, will come to take your darshan. So that is Mamiyur in Kerala. So this is the Lord Shiva's place. So wherever there is, Krishna's holy sacred places there, of course, Lord Shiva is there as Kshetrapal, and also Lord Krishna becomes very pleased when they visit his very dear devotee. And Lord Shiva, first we should take his permission, and to take so sweet reciprocation exchange between the two lords. Yeah. So yeah, the prayer. So what prayer we can offer to the Lord? It's a very beautiful prayer given here. So we can try to repeat this one. Vrindavanavani Pate Jaya Soma Soma Maule Shanaka Sanandana Sanatana Naradeta Gopishwara Braja Vilasi Yugangri Padma Preme Prayacha Nirupati Namo Namaste. O gatekeeper of Vrindavana, O Soma, all glories to you. Soma is Lord Shiva, is called Soma Sundara. Beautiful. He's having the moon on his forehead, on his head, the crescent moon. So because he carries Soma, he's called Soma Sundara. Oh, you whose forehead is decorated with the moon, and who is worshipable by the sages headed by Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Narada, O Gopishwara, desiring that you bestow upon me prema for the lotus feet of Shri Radha Madhava, who performs joyous pastimes in Vrajadam, I offer obeisances unto you time again and again. So this is a very wonderful prayer we can offer to Lord Shiva on the auspicious day that may, as given in the scriptures. Yes, Prabhu, next one. Praised by Raghunath Goswami. He says that I daily worship Gopishwar Mahadev, who is situated on the bank of Yamuna. That very Gopishwara is worshipped with deep devotion by the gopis, and he quickly fulfilled their desire to attain a supremely precious jewel in the form of the embrace of the son of Nanda Maharaj. So, yeah, this is Raghunath Dasa Goswami from Brajavilasa Sthala. Yes, Prabhu. So what can we pray to Lord Shiva? We can pray to Lord Shiva to remove all the obstacles in our path of bhakti, in our devotional life. And Lord Shiva will be so pleased. Even if he's giving the demons material desires, he's, any demons coming and approaching him for material desires, he's fulfilling. Mean, if someone is coming and asking for spiritual desires, why not he will fulfill? And also to develop the wonderful Vaishnava qualities, which we saw some of them. Such a very great personality, unagitated, sober, equipoised, compassionate, magnanimous. So we can pray to Lord Shiva so that we can develop those Vaishnava qualities, so that we can, because these Vaishnava qualities will help us to attract the attention of Krishna for that purpose, and to serve Krishna, in a pure spirit. And also to be always engaged in mind in bhakti, like Lord Shiva always meditate to Lord Hari. How the Lord Shiva is always in the meditational posture, remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. So we can pray to the Lord that, my dear Lord Shiva, let me also in your footsteps always remember and never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And also always chant his holy name. Yeah. We are coming to the climax, ending. So what is pleasing to Lord Shiva? So many things are there, but Lord Shiva will be very pleased as he himself chants the name of Lord Rama, and he tells to Mother Parvati the shortcut of chanting Rama's name. And we say in the Hare Krishna mantra, the so many Ramas and Krishna name is there. It is mentioned in the scriptures that 3 times Rama, 1 Krishna name has the potency. So many Rama and Krishna comes in the Hare Krishna mantra. So if we chant the Hare Krishna mantra very nicely, sincerely, in a way pleasing to the Lord, Lord Shiva will be so pleased, so pleased. So that is one thing we can do. And also Lord Shiva spoke about a Gita Mahatmya, the glories of Bhagavad Gita. In the Padma Purana, you see Gita Mahatmya is there. For each chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he narrates a story to Mother Parvati. 18 chapters are 18 stories, telling the importance, even a half a shloka, quarter shloka, how powerful, one gets blessings, and all his sins gets vanished by uttering the words given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Shiva is glorifying that, to Mother Parvati, and we all have read this Gita Mahatmya. So it's very pleasing if we read Bhagavad Gita, because he's telling quarter shloka also, very, very, very greatly one will be benefited. So when today or any special day of Lord Shiva, when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra sincerely, when we offer prayers to remove all the obstacles in our path of devotion and to render pure devotional service to Krishna, and when we chant the Bhagavad Gita, the prayers, when we read Bhagavad Gita, and when we perform devotional service, Lord Shiva will be super pleased. So that's what we can see here. Yes, Prabhu. So these are the things which we can do on this auspicious day. We don't have time, otherwise I would have played the Rudra prayers. But anyway, we all can read. So this is a very, very special day. So let us all pray to Lord Shiva. Some are observing today, some tomorrow, whenever. But we can always pray to him to help us. And he will help us to remove the false ego also, because the conditioned soul is full of false ego, thinking that I am the body. We get, I am this, I am that, I belong to this country, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a boss, I belong to this caste, I belong to this country, I belong to this language. So many designations, which are temporary designations. And for the temporary designations, we are fighting. Like today we see Ukraine. How many people, because of this Ukraine-Russia war, how many innocent people are killed? Why? Because this is a false ego. See, the whole world is running on this false ego that I am so and so, and when someone captures my place, I cannot, tolerate that. So let me destroy the other person. Complete false ego. And the false ego only destroys, and because of the false ego only, we are repeatedly coming to this material world. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Sankaracharya is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And he tells, finally he gives a point also, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudapate, Samprapte, Sanniyate Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dupnu Karane. enough of this false ego business that we are coming again and again in this material world, hurting ourselves and hurting so many people, so let us get rid of this false ego, and then Bhaja Govinda, let's worship Lord Govinda. So Lord Shiva is, by praying to Lord Shiva, he will remove this false ego, which is the cause of we coming to this material world again and again. So let us pray to him that the Lord removes all this false coverings and, blesses us with the transcendental knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. We can understand Bhagavad Gita. We can pray to Lord Shiva so that we can understand Bhagavad Gita, because he has glorified Bhagavad Gita. And we can chant the name of Krishna again and again, the holy name. And again, Lord Shiva is emphasizing. So if we do all this and always remember Krishna, certainly we see that we will be able to awaken our love for Krishna and achieve perfection in this life. So thank you so much for joining today. So let's do these prayers to Lord Shiva to please him, and then he will be very much pleased. So yeah. So thank you very much. And, I don't know, Vivek Prabhu, already you have gone to rest or you are there. We have gone over time. But it's a very special day. So Prabhu, we can play for a couple of minutes at least the Lord Shiva's prayers. One word.
Shri Rudra Uvacha Yuyam Vedishadah Putra Vachikishitam Anugrahaya Bhadram Va Evam Me Darshanam Kritam Yah Param Brahma Sakshat Triguna Jiva Sangitat Bhagavantam Vasudevam Prapannah Sapriyo Hime.
Whoever can decide together can decide.
Swadharmanishta Shatajanmabhih Puman Virinchatameti Tatah Param Himam Avyakritam Bhagavatotha Vaishnavam Padam Yathaham Vibudah Kalatyaye Atha Bhagavata Yuyam Priyastha Bhagavan Yatha Namad Bhagavatanam Cha Preyananyosti Karhichit Idam Viviktam Japtavyam Pavitram Mangalam Param Nishreyasakaram Chapi Shruyatam Tadvadavivaha Maitreya Uvacha Ityanukroša hrudayo bhagavanahatāchivaha Baddhanjalin rajaputran narayana paro vachaha Shri Rudra Uvacha Jitam ta atma vidvarya svastaye svastirastu me Bhavata radha saradham sarvasma atmane namaha Namah Pankajanaಭಾಯ ಭೂತಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾತ್ಮನೇ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ ಶಾಂತಾಯ ಕೂಟಸ್ಥಾಯ ಸ್ವರೋಚಿಷೇ ಸಂಕರ್ಷಣಾಯ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಾಯ ದುರಂತಾಯಾಂತಕಾಯ ಚ ನಮೋ ವಿಶ್ವಪ್ರಬೋಧಾಯ ಪ್ರದ್ಯುಮ್ನಾಯಾಂತರಾತ್ಮನೇ Namo Namo Niruddhaya Hrishikeshendriyatmane Namah Paramahamsaya Purnaya Nibhrutatmane Svargapavargadvaraya Nityam Shuchishade Namaha Namo Hiranyaviryaya Chaturhotraya Tantave Nama Urja Ishetraya Pataye Yajnaretase Truptidaya Cha Jivanam Namah Sarvarasatmane Sarvasatvatma Dehaya Visheshaya Sthaviyase Namastrailokya Palaya Saha Ojo Balaya Cha Arthalingaya Nabhase Namontarbahiratmane Namah Punyaya Lokaya Amushmai Bhuri Varchase Pravrittaya Nivrittaya Pitrudevaya Karmane नमो धर्मविपाकाय मृत्यवे दुःखदाय च नमस्त आशिषामीश मनवे कारणात्मने नमो धर्माय बृहते कृष्णाय कुण्ठमेधसे पुरुषाय पुराणाय साङ्ख्ययोगेश्वराय च शक्तित्रयसमेताय मीढुषेऽहङ्कृतात्मने चेत आकूतिरूपाय नमो वाचो विभूतये दर्शनं नोदि दृक्षूणां देहि भागवतार्चितम् रूपं प्रियतमं स्वानां सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाञ्जनम् स्निग्धप्रावृङ्घनश्यामं सर्वसौन्दर्यसङ्ग्रहम् चार्वायत चतुर्बाहु सुजातरुचिराननम् पद्मकोशपलाशाक्षं सुन्दरभ्रुसुनासिकम् सुद्विजं सुकपोलास्यं समकर्णविभूषणम् प्रीतिप्रहसितापाङ्गमलकैरूपशोभितम् लसत्पङ्कजकिञ्जल्कदुकूलं मृष्टकुण्डलम् स्फुरत्किरीटवलयहारनूपुरमेखलम् शङ्खचक्रगदा पद्ममाला मण्युत्तमर्धिमत सिंहस्कन्धद्विषो बिभ्रत्सौभगग्रीवकौस्तुभम् श्रिया नपायिन्या क्षिप्तनिकषाश्मोरसोल्लसत् पूररेचकसंविघ्नबलिवल्गुदलोदरम् प्रतिसङ्क्रामयद्विश्वं नाभ्यावर्तगभीरया श्यामश्रोण्यधिरोचिष्णुदुकूलस्वर्णमेखलम् समचार्वङ्घ्रिजङ्घोरुनिम्नजानुसुदर्शनम् पदाशरत्पद्मपलाशरोचिषा नखद्युभिर्नोऽन्तरघं विधुन्वता प्रदर्शय स्वीयमपास्तसाध्वसम् पदं गुरो मार्गगुरुस्तमोजुषा एतद्रूपमनुध्येयमात्मशुद्धिमभीप्सता यद्भक्तियोगो भयदः स्वधर्ममनुतिष्ठता भवान् भक्तिमता लभ्यो दुर्लभः सर्वदेहिनाम् स्वाराज्यस्याप्यभिमत एकान्तेनात्मविद्गतिः तं दुराराध्यमाराध्य सतामपि दुरापया एकान्तभक्त्या को वाञ्छेत् पादमूलं विना बहिः यत्र निर्विष्टमरणं कृतान्तो नाभिमन्यते विश्वं विध्वंसयन् वीर्यशौर्यविस्फूर्जितभ्रुवा क्षणार्धेनापि तुलयेन स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम् भगवत्सङ्गिसङ्गस्य मर्त्यानां किमुताशिषः अथानघाङ्घ्रेस्तव कीर्तितीर्थयोरन्तर्बहिः स्नानविधूतपाप्मनाम् भूतेष्वनुक्रोशसुसत्त्वशीलिनाम् स्यात्सङ्गमोऽनुग्रह एष नस्तव न यस्य चित्तं बहिरर्थविभ्रमम् तमो गुहायां च विशुद्धमाविशत् यद्भक्तियोगानुगृहीतमञ्जसा मुनिर्विचष्टे ननु तत्र ते गतिम् यत्रेदं व्युच्यते विश्वं विश्वस्मिन्नवभाति यत् तत्त्वं ब्रह्म परं ज्योतिराकाशमिव विस्तृतम् यो माययेदं पुरुरूपया सृज बिभर्ति भूयः क्षपयत्यविक्रियः यद्भेदबुद्धिः सदिवात्मदुस्तया त्वमात्मतन्त्रं भगवन् प्रतीमहि क्रियाकलापैरिदमेव योगिनः श्रद्धान्विताः साधु यजन्ति सिद्धये भूतेन्द्रियान्तःकरणोपलक्षितम् वेदे च तन्त्रे च त एव कोविदाः त्वमेक आद्यः पुरुषः सुप्तशक्तिस्तया रजः सत्त्वतमो विभिद्यते महानहं खं मरुदग्निवार्धराः सुरर्षयो भूतगणा इदं यतः सृष्टं स्वशक्त्येदमनुप्रविष्टश्च चतुर्विधं पुरमात्मांशकेन अथो विदुस्तं पुरुषं सन्तमन्तर्भुङ्क्ते ऋषिकैर्मधुसारघं यः स लोकानतिचण्डवेगो विकर्षसि त्वं खलु कालयानः भूतानि भूतैरनुमेय तत्त्वो घनावलिर्वायुरिवाभिषह्यः प्रमत्तमुच्चैरिति कृत्य चिन्तया प्रवृद्धलोभं विषयेषु लालसम् त्वमप्रमत्तः सहसाभिपद्यसे क्षुल्लेलिहानो गिरिबाहुहन्तकः कस्त्वत्पदाब्जं विजहाति पण्डितो यस्त्वेव मानव्ययमानकेतनः विशङ्कयास्मद्गुरुरर्चति स्म यद्विनोपपत्तिं मनवश्चतुर्दश हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Shri Rudra Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jagannath is already gone to, fully dressed for the night.
Jai Jagannath.
About to sleep. So, but very nice that today being, Shivaratri, we thought it was nice. Even if it extends, I thought devotees' own mind. So wonderful that we could hear so many things about Lord Shiva. Hope he's pleased with all our prayers, endeavors, efforts. So thank you very much. Okay, Prabhu, anything is there? Any announcement?
Yeah, Mataji. So from announcement point of view, we have a couple of announcements. One is on 5th of March, we have Prabhupada night, which is from 6 p.m. onwards. So I will request all the devotees, please keep your time. Don't book anything else. So it's going to be a very nice event from all the devotees in East London. And also we had Japa Marathon, and I think so many devotees joined this Japa Marathon. Just requesting them to register their chanted round so that we can offer to the Lord Jagannath. So
Okay,
these
Prabhu.
two.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. We also like to all of you to pray. We can chant 3 times for the people in Ukraine, who are going through this difficult period. So let's all chant 3 times Hare Krishna mantra, for the peace and protection. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Thank you all of you for patiently being here and hearing all the glories of Lord Shiva. So we thank each and every one of you. And also today we also request all your prayers for one devotee, Kasi Prabhu. He is from Malaysia. Today is his birthday. Prabhu's been a very senior devotee from Malaysia and has been serving many Maharajas when they visit Malaysia. He's here in London now. I'm not sure whether he has joined the call, but we request all of your prayers for his well-being and spiritual progress for their family. Thank you so much. We'll say Hare Krishna once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare
Hari
Rama Rama
Bol.
Rama
Thank
Hare
you. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shiva ki jai. Shivaratri Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Such a wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.